Welcome to another episode of PSL on the Mic, the City of Port St. Lucie's official podcast. Today, we are in the studio with Katie Kehres from Florida Department of Transportation, but she is the leader of Target Zero, coordinator of Target Zero.
I'm the district safety administrator, and then we'll go into what Target Zero means later, and I'll tell you how I fit in.
Let's start right now.
All right.
Welcome, Katie. Talk about Target Zero, talk about yourself and what you do over at FDOT.
All right, great. So I guess I'll start with myself. I'm proud to actually be a Port St. Lucie resident for
Yay!
practically my entire life.
Awesome.
So I only left to go to the University of Central Florida for a few years to get my bachelor's in civil engineering. So my husband and I reside here in Port St. Lucie with our two kids, 12 and 14, and he's also an engineer with FDOT.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
And
kids are going to be engineers, possibly.
Maybe, and our son gets his permit this summer, so. Yeah,
oh boy,
right?
Driving those streets of Port St. Lucie.
Right. And actually, I'm, I guess you could say, third generation Port St. Lucie resident. So my dad's family, they moved here in 1974. It's almost 50 years that my grandparents and everybody have been in Port St. Lucie. Yeah.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
That's about me personally. And I guess the other thing that's kind of neat is I wrote a book about being a woman engineer because I love being an engineer.
We love that. Girl power.
Yes, absolutely. And then for DOT, I've been with DOT for almost 17 years now.
Wow.
So, yes,
That's a long time.
And most of my career has been here in the Treasure Coast. 13 years in construction. So I did all the Treasure Coast, which is Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River construction projects. Even was the project manager for leading the emergency for Roosevelt Bridge, fixing that. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I remember that
Yes.
happened a couple months, maybe a year after I started here, because I actually used to work at TC Palm.
Oh, yeah.
For 22 years, I worked at the newspaper.
Okay.
And then when I started work here, I got that push alert.
Yes.
And I talked to Sarah. I was like, Sarah, I know this is not Port St. Lucie, but we might want to share something like this.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people from Stewart. So great.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Connection
fixing
right
that.
there,
Yes.
right? Yeah. And then I transitioned from that. So March of 2021, at the state level, we announced that we were elevating safety. Mm-hmm. And that's actually when Target Zero got coined in March of 2021. And that's when I took on this position. So I'm the district safety administrator. I was the first in the state. I have counterparts across the state now. It's an ongoing, evolving program. Mm-hmm. We elevated safety, even though safety's always been part of our mission statement. Just like any local municipality, any company, you would hope safety's part of their mission.
Yeah.
But when Target Zero was coined in our strategic highway safety plan, we wanted to elevate in terms of having safety administrators that would really embrace safety and make, build the safety culture in the districts. So now I'm responsible for all of District 4. So even though it is Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River, it's also Broward and Palm Beach.
Yeah.
But I am afforded the opportunity to still work out of the Treasure Coast office.
That's awesome.
I do go to Fort Lauderdale a lot and Palm Beach as well. And I'm responsible for our district safety office, which has workplace safety, but also has community traffic safety education outreach. Target Zero falls under that. That's why I'm here today.
So important.
Yes, absolutely. And then traffic safety, which is more of the fatal crash reviews, the safety studies, the road safety audits. So I have a whole office that does that. And then the very last thing I'd say on my role is we want to make safety not siloed to just the safety office. We have hundreds of people that work for DOT in District 4, and we want to make safety part of everybody's job. And what that means is that we have a safety team. So we took people from different departments and put them on a team that I lead. And so we can put safety into every process and procedure in everything we do.
That's awesome. And we are so happy and so proud to be partnering with Target Zero.
Yes.
We've been, I guess, not maybe since the inception, but for at least 2 years now. So talk about that partnership and kind of how it came about with the city and Target Zero.
Great. So back in October 2022, I believe, is when, prior to that, we started talking about it. And we figured out that we really needed to launch Target Zero at each of the districts. So when I say we, it's a statewide effort. It's not just a District 4 effort. And we realized that St. Lucie, Broward, and Palm Beach were very hot spots for speeding. And we felt like we needed to do a speeding campaign in one of those 3 counties. And because I'm a City of Port St. Lucie resident, I got my water bill, and it had the We Drive 25 pledge paper in there. Yes. And I was so excited. I know it's super dorky of me, but I was like, oh my gosh, this could be it. And I brought it back to our leadership and our state office, and I said, I feel like we could do something with the city. This is where I live, not prioritizing necessarily Port St. Lucie over the other districts, but I have a connection here.
Sure.
Let's use it. And so I got with different city staff and leadership, and we did our first ever Target Zero kickoff in District 4. Right here at City Hall, out in the parking lot, and it was a great success. The community came, residents, staff, came out into to our booths, and we had other booths going on. It was a big partnership. So that was actually our true kickoff for Target Zero. And then we did something with FHP down south right after. But the city of Port St. Lucie was the lead for our Target Zero kickoff.
So I didn't know that we were the kickoff.
Yes,
Ooh, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
So now talk about Target Zero. It's a huge safety initiative. What is it exactly, and what is your goal of that?
Okay, certainly zero is our goal. Zero fatalities, zero serious injuries, zero families, friends, everybody impacted by tragedies of traffic crashes. Not accidents, we call them crashes. And what Target Zero really is a behavior change campaign. So we can do all the engineering in the world, but when we look at statistically speaking what's happening with these crashes, it's a data-driven approach that looks at all the crash history, all the trend, and we do see that though there's multiple contributing factors to any one crash, majority are driving behavior. And so Target Zero is that umbrella driving behavior campaign telling everybody that no matter what the campaign is, we have a lot of other safety campaigns, the umbrella is Target Zero. We all need to be focused on that same vision, which is getting to zero fatalities and serious injuries.
And how do you use that data to identify these quote unquote like dangerous driving behaviors? How do you use that data?
So we have a lot of experts digging through all of it.
Yeah.
Not me personally, but we have consultants and we have marketing experts that dug through the data and realized that like 50% of the crashes, and I could be wrong, but were male drivers, 22 to 27, that were maybe speeding. And so that is like, we find a target audience. There's focus groups that look at the different trends and talk to people and try to find that connection between, we can tell people 1,000 times, like, don't speed, but how do we tell them the right way so they'll actually change like how they're driving?
So do you focus your education campaign on that age group then? Those drivers?
For the
normally?
most part, we're trying to do things that will appeal to that age group. So we can't keep doing, a safety pamphlet like we used to the exact same way we used to. And so we're trying to create different social media trends or billboards and things that may appeal to that male 22 to 27. But the reality is we want to appeal to everybody because safety is for everybody, and they could be influencers. So I could be talking to somebody at a safety table and ask them to fill out a survey and talk to them and find out they have a teenage grandson and they can be an influencer. So our safety campaigns are very varied enough that we're doing recipe cards that have like safe driving tips on one side and recipes
that's
on the
a great
other.
idea.
So we're trying to find different ways to appeal, yes, to the males, but also everybody because safety is for everyone.
All right, and everyone drives, not just males.
Right, it affects everybody.
Do you have statistics on, I don't want to say the bad statistic, but what do you have statistics about crashes and fatalities? And then on the positive side, have they gotten better? Have our statistics lowered? Have we gotten to zero?
Right. So I'll start with the statistics.
Yeah.
On average, 8 people die every day on our Florida roads, on public roads.
Wow.
Every day, 8 people. And 49 more are seriously injured. So that's over 3,000-ish people that we're losing every day on our roads. Nationally, that number's like 40,000 people.
A day?
A day. No, a year, sorry.
A year.
Right. 8 people every day,
my gosh.
40,000 people a year, and 3,000 in Florida. Those are huge numbers. And so you ask anybody, what should that number be? And they're like, oh, it could be this, it could be 10, it could be 20. No, it should be zero. Like that could be your family member, your friend. So statistically speaking, traffic crashes are really like pandemic level. Like it's a crisis. So a plane could go down every day. And that's the amount of people that we're losing every day on our roads.
Right.
And I don't think people build that connection. And so it's very unfortunate and somber, right? And that's why there's a national safety strategy now from the federal government as well. So it's not just District 4 and FDOT, state office, et cetera, working on this. It's nationally being worked on. And so I don't think we have the numbers yet to see what we've been doing over the last couple of years. There's such a lag in traffic crash data.
That might take 5 years, even 10
a lot
years,
of times
maybe.
If someone wants us to do like a study of, we did this type of safety countermeasure. Can you tell us if it's worked? We usually say 3 to 5 years just to even check the trends of what was our crashes before and what was after.
So we're even coming up on 3 now since Target Zero was created.
Right. When it was coined. So zero fatality and serious injuries isn't something new. Nationally, it's always been talked about. It's been in other countries. Other countries can do it. They've lowered their numbers. Why can't we? We have had zero as our goal at FDOT, and our strategic highway safety plan isn't just a DOT plan. It's actually for everybody in Florida as well, because everybody contributes to building it. It's always had zero as a goal since 2012, maybe. But rebranding and making Target Zero and building the safety administrators, creating the safety office, we've really set aside that safety is our number one. It's our highest priority. So rebranding that Target Zero maybe elevated it enough that maybe 2012 to 2021 we didn't see as much progress, but now I'm hoping We will, and the first couple years of Target Zero, we're still evolving.
Yeah.
We're still changing our behavior change campaigns. We're still
it's
figuring
a new
out
program, like you said, coined in 2021.
It's very new. We're
Yeah.
still figuring out at the district level, at the state level, what could we be doing differently with it, et cetera. So it's going to be a while, but I have faith that what we're doing is working.
And have you guys found that is it speeding that's kind of the number one culprit? Is there anything else? Does like cell phone usage or smartphone usage, or just there's so many distractions now?
Agreed. You hit it right perfectly.
Yeah.
So I forgot to mention 3 main components of Target Zero, like those 50% trends. Maybe it wasn't just speeding, but it's speeding, aggressive driving, and distracted driving. So those are those 3 major focus areas of Target Zero, is that umbrella. But again, we still have all the other safety campaigns still happening behind the scenes, but those are the 3 areas that we're really focusing on.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, you can touch things in your car now. There's GPSs. You can change your Spotify while you're driving. You know, it's just, there's so much stuff going on in cars and now with smartphones and everything. Driving down the road, I mean, we all get angry driving. There's a lot of traffic. There's, you know, slow downs, whatever. I always try to think of a person in front of me, if they're driving too slow or driving too fast, that maybe they have something going on in their life. And I personally, I'll, you know, back off a little bit and just to avoid that. And most people don't do that though, right? No. You know, so is there a campaign that is like a certain campaign that works better than others? Have you found out?
Well, first I'll hit on what you just mentioned because I have something to say on that. So embrace the space is kind of the slogan for that. That's speeding and aggressive driving.
Look at me.
And then the speeding one is early on time, a little late. Just get there safely. Right? So you know, okay, you're going to be 5 minutes late, then be 5 minutes late. It's better than being in the hospital or putting someone else in the hospital.
Yes.
So for the Target Zero, we're doing slogans like that to kind of be catchy.
Awesome.
But as far as which ones kind of stick with people and people resonate with, I feel like every single time I do a safety event or talk to people, something different resonates because everybody's a driver and everybody's been exposed to something. So I could be doing a safety table and someone may have a grandchild or their own child and they're talking about, helmet use for riding their bicycles or click it or ticket has, you know, been really effective.
Yep.
The one thing I would say that some people aren't aware of is the move over law. So it was updated recently for any disabled vehicle that's on the side of the road. You have to move over a lane or go down 20. So some people have been surprised when I have that conversation and that's what we're wanting safety to be, is to humanize it and have that conversation. So we're not being so prescriptive that like at these tables and at these safety events, we only talk about these 3 things. We have statewide coalitions for motorcycle safety, ped bike coalition, teen safe driver, et cetera. And each of those all have their own like branded tangible items and educational material because they're going to hit different people in different ways.
Is there anything when you're talking about all of this messaging that you have, is there anything that residents can do to help Target Zero? Are there social media messages they can share? Is there a website that you guys have, which I'm sure you do, but you know, like mailers, you send mailers out. Is there anything that residents can do locally in PSL that will help this initiative?
Absolutely. The number one thing is be cognizant of the behaviors they're having because what they're doing is resonating with other people and they're seeing it and just, you know, doing those safe driving behaviors. But the targetzerofl.com website, you can just type that in Google or whatever, and it has information. It has social media images. It has do not disturb messages. We even have a playlist. So never before have I heard of, you know, a government agency putting together a playlist, but we feel like we don't feel like it's part of statistically speaking that people drive differently depending on the type of music they listen to. So there's there's like different QR codes so you can listen to different types of music, download your playlist before you drive. There, again, do not disturb messages, social media. So there's lots of social media messages that you could download, save, and reshare. And then we put a lot on our social media, FDOT Southeast Florida, the statewide FDOT, and then you could tag Target Zero FL whenever you're doing things. And then I would say just visit us at safety events, and it may not just be Target Zero, it may not be DOT, but it could be our transportation planning organization.
Sure, any safety event,
Right, there's so many different advocates in our community for safety for different things. So they could have a safety table. You want to look at their material, talk to them, because you can learn something from everybody you talk to that's in safety.
That's awesome. We're going to put all this information in the show notes for you guys in case you want to stop by and download a social media graphic and share it with everyone. What is the future, Katie, of Target Zero? What is, you know, we're into year 3. What's the future of Target Zero? Do you guys have a goal in mind here? Besides
goal
getting to zero.
Goal
Yes.
Right. I think what we're really focusing on right now is a little bit more of the root causes. So when we were talking about the data before, is we understand there's like the three main focus areas, the speeding, the aggressive driving, and the distracted driving, but also what else is happening behind the scenes with those root causes.
Oh,
because
interesting.
there's definitely safety countermeasures that we could be doing as well. We don't want to put it all on, the residents and drivers and citizens. So there's a thing called a safe system. I encourage anybody to look up that as well. That's through the federal government, and every state agency should be adopting that as well. So safe systems talk about safe road users, safe vehicles, safe speeds, et cetera. And one of the really critical things about that is safety should be redundant, and that humans make mistakes. Humans are vulnerable.
Sure.
So even though someone chose to pick up their phone and look at that text from someone and they shouldn't have, it doesn't mean their life should be lost. And so we need to have as many countermeasures out on the roadways that we can to protect lives. And I believe that's the next step we're taking, is that we're looking at the root causes, we're looking at the infrastructure, the types of roads, the infrastructure we have, and then what other proactive safety countermeasures can we be putting out there for those types of areas. Where do we have the most ped bike crashes? Because that's another ped bike, intersections, and lane departures are kind of our three emphasis areas in terms of the road user and the road types where we're having the crashes. And so combining those with Target Zero, I think, is the next step.
Awesome. And we actually, I just thought of this. We didn't really talk about cycling or biking or anything. Talk a little bit about how Target Zero works with bicycle safety.
Yeah, absolutely. So bicyclists, pedestrians are very vulnerable road users, and speed has a lot to do with that. So the chance of surviving a crash when you're hit, at a certain speed is unfortunate, the statistics. So we are working hard with the Pedestrian Bicycle Safety Coalition. I'm part of that coalition with other community members, even from St. Lucie. And we meet every quarter, and whether, there's some communities that adopt Vision Zero, which is another, parallel effort. They work together. We are working all towards that zero, and ped bike is one of our main user areas, because there's a certain statistic about how the amount of crashes may be lower, but the amount of fatalities and serious injuries are significantly higher when you look at pedestrians and bicyclists. Okay. They just don't have a chance, and it's unfortunate.
Guys, be safe out there. When you're driving, know the bicyclists are out there.
Yes.
And I love that. What is it? You said back off. What
Embrace
is that?
the space.
Embrace the space. I love that, because I think of that all the time. If someone I think is driving aggressively or even too slowly, which could also be an issue too, is I always back off. So I'm glad that you have a little slogan for that too. Yes. We just have to be cognizant of other cars. We have to be cognizant of pedestrians, of cyclists, and just be safe and be kind when you're driving a vehicle. So, Katie, this was so much fun. I hope that we educated our listeners and our YouTube watchers about Target Zero and how they can actually help get to zero and help us and help you get to zero. We have a little kind of fun thing we do at the end of all of our podcasts, just to get to know our guests a little bit more. Everybody seems to enjoy it. Maybe we should do it first, before we do a podcast, so it kind of like gets the nerves out of everyone, right? Safety Katie?
Yes.
I knew I was going to get that in. They call her Safety Katie. She's here for a reason. So I'm going to throw out these 10 questions, and you're just going to give me the first answer that pops into your head.
All right, great.
All right, we got favorite food.
Tacos, or really anything with guacamole.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, avocados.
Favorite movie?
I have a lot, but like Barbie, I've watched it quite a bit.
Girl
Super
power,
fun, girl
I love
power.
it. Favorite hobby?
Reading, exercising. I don't have much me time, so when I do, that's it.
Okay. Favorite singer or band?
Back in the day, no doubt, Gwen Stefani still has my heart. Yeah.
Awesome.
Girl
Love
power.
that. Favorite book, since you like to read?
I do, and I read like 40 a year. I'm crazy. So I have a lot of favorite books, a lot of 5-star books, but the most recent one was Atomic Habits by James Clear. So that was really good for personal and professional development.
Oh, nice. Okay, I have to look into that one. Favorite holiday?
New Year's Day for a clean slate.
Wow.
I know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Favorite place to visit?
Sanibel Island.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's our place.
Favorite ice cream flavor?
Strawberry.
What? That's okay.
What?
From Florida. I kind of like that.
Fruity.
Normally people pick like chocolate or something.
No.
Or minty.
Like
Favorite TV show?
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel on Amazon Prime. Got a couple episodes left. I really love it.
I love that too. And your favorite color?
Pink, as you could guess.
Pink.
Or not, well, or purple.
Or
I
purple
guess.
for Target Zero, pink for Barbie.
Right.
Katie Kehres, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast, and look for some more great information coming from Target Zero in the future. And we love our partnership with Target Zero, so thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity. Appreciate it.